Kwekwe, greetings. This video was developed on behalf of the University of Waterloo by Accessibility Services. The information contained in this video is intended to provide an overview of the skills and knowledge needed to meaningfully participate in academics. Be open, be curious, and connect with us. We are here to help make your academic journey a success. This video will cover the following topics: student rights and responsibilities, differences between high school and university, the Accessibility Services Office, academic accommodations, and accessible spaces and inclusive communities on campus. Student rights and responsibilities are outlined in the Ontario Human Rights Code, OHRC, and the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, AODA. Students have the right to be free of discrimination because of disability, to receive fair and equitable treatment and be accommodated with dignity and courtesy in the classroom, and to receive reasonable educational accommodations. As a student, you are responsible for identifying yourself as someone who has a disability by contacting Accessibility Services at a college or university. You should also provide the appropriate medical documentation to document your disability and your need for accommodation. Follow the university's student academic accommodation guidelines, as well as Accessibility Services procedures for receiving accommodations and services. It is equally important to actively participate and engage in the accommodation planning and facilitation process. Contact Accessibility Services if problems arise related to your disability or accommodations. One of the main differences between high school and university is class schedules. In high school, class schedules are pre-planned to align with school hours. In university, students are responsible for selecting their courses, which can start as early as 8:30 a.m. or as late as 7 p.m. University classes may follow a traditional lecture format, in addition to seminars, tutorials, and labs. A typical high school class is 30 students. In university, class sizes may range from 5 to 500 students. In high school, tests and exams often occur in a small classroom, and the subject teacher or resource teacher will facilitate academic accommodations as they are needed. In university, exams are written in large spaces like gyms and lecture halls. Students with accommodations may be able to complete tests or exams in a distraction-reduced alternative testing space. Students are responsible for their own learning. Self-awareness, self-advocacy, and self-determination are essential. Accessibility Services, AAS for short, is the university's centralized office for the management of student academic accommodations on the grounds of disability under the Ontario Human Rights Code, otherwise known as the Code. AAS ensures students with disabilities and disabling conditions can access and participate in their education by removing barriers and building capacity for success. AAS is available to all students at the University of Waterloo. Accessibility Services can determine eligibility for academic accommodations, facilitate accommodation plans in partnership with faculty and academic units, as well as assess and determine exemptions on grounds of disability. Accessibility Services can support students with known or suspected disabilities and disabling conditions, students experiencing permanent, temporary, or sporadic or episodic conditions, and students with a broad range and degree of conditions that impact their ability to access and meaningfully participate in their education. Based on eligibility and lived experience, students registered with Accessibility Services can access course-based and testing accommodations along with graduate milestone, work-integrated learning, and safety-based accommodations. Based on eligibility and lived experience, students registered with Accessibility Services can also access accommodation services and supports, including workshops and drop-in student support. Accessibility Services offers culturally appropriate assistance to Indigenous students to promote equitable access to academic accommodations, services, and supports. Accessibility Services hosts multiple information nights to assist students and their families as they navigate the transition to the University of Waterloo. The Academic Skill Building Program is designed for incoming first-year students and students newly registered with Accessibility Services who are looking to improve their academic wellness. Students looking to register with Accessibility Services will engage in the onboarding process. Students do not need a formal diagnosis to register, nor do they need to disclose a diagnosis. Students can submit the AAS Academic Accommodation Self-Assessment Form if they don't have any medical documentation. Indigenous students can also have their medical documentation completed by a community elder. Students can activate their classroom and alternative testing accommodations at the start of every academic term. Students may choose to use some, none, or all of their accommodations. Once a student requests their academic accommodations, their instructors will receive a faculty notification letter that identifies the roles and responsibilities of the student and the instructor to ensure access to accommodations. In addition to accessibility services, the University of Waterloo offers a wide range of academic services and supports for students. As a student, part of building a community of support is seeking out accessible spaces and inclusive groups on campus, like Connection Collective. As well as Connection Collective, students at the University of Waterloo can join a variety of clubs and groups on campus, including the Student Disability Community Network, Accessibility Ally Network, NeuroMinds Collective, Link Inclusion Lounge, International Peers Community, and Indigenous Student Services. Additional accessible spaces and inclusive groups on campus include the Glow Center, Raise, Mates, and the Women's Center. Are you looking to connect with accessibility services? Call, email, or stop by in person. We are here to help. Interested in learning more? Follow us on YouTube at UW Accessibility Services. Thank you and miigwech.